You're listening to killradio.org. This is the Open Windows Show. So, Steve, we're going to hear Craque, C-R-A-Q-U-E, Craque.
And you're really going to enjoy this. I heard them down in Chinatown, and it was a Noisy by Nature festival, and you can enjoy this.
That was a festival of kind of like people are playing modular synthesizers and ranges from noise to synth pop to Midi Eastern to whatever. And there was some Brazilian music from Angelo, who's going to be Angelo Metz, Randy's so-called cousin, long-lost cousin.
And you'll be hearing him in shortly. He's going to be coming on a couple of shows from now.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So what we have from this is Matt Davis, and this is his project, and I would say it falls in the category of noise, but I would call it electro-acoustic, meaning that there are different sound sources than just electronic devices. He's even, I mean, people were flipping out when they saw his setup there. And it's really, I like to describe the setup. Maybe we'll do a little bit afterwards, but use your imagination. There's a plant involved, and there's a cactus, so we're gonna hear a lot of really cool things. So so I guess I'll introduce Craque now. So here he is, live on killradio.org. Listen to Open Windows, that was Craque. It's Matt Davis. Amazing. What do you think, Steve?
That was amazing. It was very peaceful. I could see why it's electro-acoustic. I mean, it was very peaceful.
Oh my God! Well, what you guys didn't see through the radio, through the internet, is the setup. I mean, I see various modular devices hooked up with different cables and loopers. There's something that looks like some kind of a box with a. I swear to God, it looks like a cheese grater on the top of it. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. And there's a cactus, right? I mean, let's get him a mic. Matt, let's get you a microphone.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
So you drove up here from Fullerton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for playing.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible with the music box and all the other stuff.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
That's what I got. I really like the sound of the music box. I mean, that really stood out.
Yeah. I used to have a piece of wood that I would just set things on to play. So I started playing around with music boxes on this piece of wood, and then I just one day, actually, I built this for Soundwalk last year.
Oh wow, Soundwalk in Long Beach. Yeah.
Both of the egg slicer thing and the music box I did specifically for Soundwalk, and so people came up to the table and played with them. But I just went out and I said, I'm gonna put a bunch of them on a piece of wood, and it just ended up being really cool.
Yeah. Well, I was sitting outside at the Noisy by Nature show that was over the summer.
Oh yeah.
And someone said, "You gotta go in there. This dude's playing a cactus." I was like, "What are you talking about?" It was like 110 degrees inside that warehouse. It was so freaking hot.
It was, it was just like he had to keep going in and out and in and out. But the cool thing about when I played was that they opened the door.
Yes.
Right before I started, and the sun was going down, so you get all the sound of all the people from outside kind of drifting into the space at the same time I was playing music. So it was a really cool experience to it was like an epiphany sort of moment where the garage door went open and all the sounds became as one. It was really cool.
Once the sun was starting to set, oh my God, the temperature dropped like 20 degrees.
It was so much better.
But it was just such a wonderful day.
Yeah,
some warehouse space that was out down kind of near Chinatown.
Yeah, right by Union Station.
Yeah.
Is that Main Street? I'm not even sure. I think so.
I think it was Main Street.
Yeah.
South Main Street.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
North
Main Street.
Yeah, that's right. It was like a branch off kind of,
Yeah, like right underneath the stadium. You could look up and see it.
Yeah. So you had a similar setup that night too. So I noticed you have some modular stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. This is just a bit of my modular system. It's a Eurorack system. And I don't really stick to any one, maker, designer. I like to mix things up. So if you were to see this now, you would see about, 6 or 7 different makers of modules.
Okay.
And I like collecting the really, really unique ones. This is one that I built right here very recently. So it's kind of a performance rig, I guess. Yeah. I can plug the cactus into this guy right here. I can play this over here, kind of like a piano. And I've got the theremin controller as well, which, if you're not familiar with that, the Beach Boys, the ghost sounds.
Good vibrations.
Good vibrations.
Jimmy Page had one.
That's right. That's right. Just about everybody had
that was
them back
great.
then.
Yeah, you were waving it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing. That's a really fun thing to perform with. It really is. When I went to NAMM and I saw the real theremin up close at the Moog thing, I think I was there playing it for like an hour. I mean, it was. They're fun.
Wonderful. What did you think, Steve? What did you take from the performance?
I loved it. Like I said, it was peaceful. Especially the music box. I mean, I get imagery from it.
Why don't I play some of your stuff from your website while we talk? Why don't I? From the SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com /Craque, CRAQUE. I'll just play that first one. What do you think? The Cactus Ulatorium?
This is actually something that I recorded over the weekend with this same sort of setup, so it sounds a little bit similar.
This one here? Oh, wait, what's playing? There's something else playing here. Sorry. I'm going to stop that, and then I'm going... Sorry. This is live. This is going out live. So, here we go. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Sorry. So, Steve, as you were saying, and I rudely interrupted.
No, it's all right. I have a tendency of doing that too. I can understand. Sometimes it's hard for me to track with this because I find myself in a corner, my eyes closed, just absorbing.
Yeah.
Hey, that's okay.
With the headphones,
The
it sounded good, huh?
Eyes, really. I have a hard job, you know. Hey.
So Steve, I know over the months we've been doing this show now for what? This is the 10th month we've been doing this show.
Yeah, you got that.
We've had a lot of really great musicians in here, a lot of noise, ranging from anything from acoustic folk kind of stuff to folk core, noise of all different kinds of harshness. But yours really stood out as being like a little more, I guess electro-acoustic is the term you like to use.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it all has ended up being pretty unique.
Mm-hmm.
Because I end up just putting together the things that I like, you know, that are actually kind of, I mean, they're part of me, really. They say a lot about me. So and when it all comes together as one big thing, you know, I don't even know what's going to happen. So it's always an adventure, you know. It's always an exciting thing, and I mean that's why I like the weird modules, because I want unexpected things to happen.
Okay.
You know.
How many, you said you had different systems put together, is that the right word?
Different systems? Well, what do you mean? You mean like modular systems?
Yeah.
I just have, well, I mean, it's one big one. I've got this, and I've got a couple more rows at home of other stuff, not as portable. It's in a big rack. And I'm always, you know, I like building them.
That's what I got. So it's all condensed in one unit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really nice setup. I built this box to be used with this box, and it works real well. I'm sure it'll change, though.
Right.
It's always changing, always morphing. So yeah, I could play again if you'd like.
Oh, we'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let me put this mic over here.
Sure. Beautiful. Another set by Craque. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for playing again.
Yeah.
Let's give you the mic again. We can talk some more. So, how long you been doing this project?
A long time, I guess, since probably like the mid '90s. Really? Yeah, in different formats and forms. I've always kind of been into improvisational music, so
Right.
I guess my entire approach is to, like I was talking about, having unique things that, you know, will surprise me with what they do. I kind of have evolved my instrument, as it were, and that's really what it is. I mean, it's an instrument. I'm not fond of so much traditional Western instruments in a traditional Western way.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, if you look at this table, you'd be able to tell there's not even, well, the closest thing is a drum mallet. That's the closest thing.
Right.
But it's, you know, it's stuff that I've been making and collecting, and I don't know. It's just been like something that I've always done.
Mm-hmm.
And will probably always do.
Well, what influenced you to do this kind of music?
Well, one of my big influences is John Cage.
Uh-huh.
I never met him myself, but I know a lot of people who were in his circle, and I studied his music in grad school. And the Cactus is kind of a direct descendant from Cage. He did a piece for Amplified Plant Material.
Wow.
It's called Child of Tree. And I used to do this with other people. I had a trio called Comma. We were a vocal trio, and we started off only doing voices, and then we started doing more of the, you know, pulling in effects and stuff to treat our voices with, you know, stuff. And I'm gonna get you guys. I should have brought that CD, but I will get you guys that CD. And then it kind of evolved from that as each of us started, you know, evolving in the group. We would pull in more electro-acoustic stuff, pull in more computer and laptop and you know, processing.
Right.
Basically. And that actually has a lot to do with Pauline Oliveras' work.
Oh, okay.
And what she was doing with basically the same thing. A processing rig for her accordion and her noise making and the deep listening band.
Yeah, well, she's still going strong.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
She's into her 80s, you know.
Oh yeah, she turned 80 this year.
Yeah.
This is her. Yeah. But she's been a great influence in my stuff, for sure. I mean, she's mentored me, and she mentored our group, Comma. So definitely Pauline, and of course John Cage and Pauline are in the same kind of family tree, so to speak. But you know what? I love John Zorn too. So it's like a big spectrum of you know, cool stuff.
The non so-called music and the extremely musical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
I guess. You know,
extremely musical. I
you
like
know,
that
like,
word.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very someone who like really has a mastery of musical forms. You know?
Yeah.
And then you're talking about people like John Cage who are like totally on the other end of the spectrum. I don't know how that happens. I guess it's just stuff that I like. But yeah.
they seem far apart, but they're not that far apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I grew up on the East Coast, so it's kind of like I was all familiar with what was going on in New York and everything like that. And we were kind of, you know, my friends and I were always in tune with, you know, the New York scene, Mid-Atlantic improv scene, which was really big back then. I don't know if it's still big now, but the Baltimore, Philadelphia improvised music scene was really strong when we were participating in it. So what I do now is all an extension of all of that, you know.
So do you play out very, very often?
Yeah, not very often. I mean, I guess in terms of what often means.
Yeah.
You know, I've done a couple of shows this year already.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like doing how do you say it, lesser shows, and do very interesting shows,
right,
like the LA Symphony. That was just awesome thing to do, to be in and participate in. And like I did a show at a place in Culver City called Crash Space LA. It's a hackerspace, and I think it's right there on Venice Boulevard. And it was a handmade music night, and so I brought a very similar, and I think actually the full show is up on YouTube, the full set, and it's the same kind of thing, you know, electro-acoustic improvisation, no plan, no score, no, you know, something may be broken, and that happens to me all the time. Something will break, and I'm in the middle of a set, I'm in the middle of improvising. Well, I can't even tell it's broken. I just know something's broken because, you know, I'm like, wait, something is doing something that it shouldn't be doing, but it sounds okay, so I'm just
That's kind of like when Steve drops his notes and he's supposed to be reading his poems.
You're the first show we did.
And then it became a kind of an electro-acoustic performance when you were moving the microphone around. And it was great. It was great, but you went with it, right? That's what you have to do when you're doing improv.
Exactly. And even, you know, microphone sounds, you know, those kind of things that just, they seem like artifacts, but they can be really valuable to the whole sonic experience. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So it's like you're really that much in touch because you could tell, you could pinpoint what's out because you could tell something's out of sync.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can. I don't know if out of sync or, you know, it's out of place. There's, or, you know, something isn't right. I think one of my pedals over here was misbehaving earlier, and I'm not really sure how, but, you know, it was misbehaving in a good way, so
we didn't notice. So.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What's this piece that we're listening to here, by the way? This is
which one is it now?
Let's see here. I think it's the cylindrical mass.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, this one's, you posted about a month ago, it says. Yeah.
Oh,
it's more of an experimental electronic
I think I got
track.
the flute out for that one.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, speaking of Western instruments, I've been trying to get my Western instruments out more to do more stuff with. So that was like 1 week where I was doing flute. I think there's one on there where I got the cello out. It was
really
real fun, yeah.
So you have a background in studying cello and flute?
I never studied cello, but I studied flute when I was a kid, and I kept playing it. And I studied voice in school.
Okay.
And trumpet.
Where'd you go to school?
Undergrad was Virginia Tech, and grad school was at University of Maryland.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's University of Maryland is where I did a lot of the work with the group Comma, and a lot of the work with John Cage. We actually did a lot of John Cage concerts when I was in school there. Mm-hmm. We had a great Cage professor, a real professor who actually taught, you know, John Cage classes, and it was a great experience. Kind of brought together that whole, you know, improvised music community. It was cool. A lot of fun.
Did you guys ever get together and do like a collective set?
Do what?
Like a collective set, like everybody just get together and just...
Oh, and just like one big thing?
Yeah.
You know what? We actually used to have improvisation workshops.
Oh.
And we would invite whoever wanted to come and bring whatever they wanted to bring. And we would get in these workshops and we would actually do improvisational games, basically, and doing exactly what you said, except we put some kind of control around it, so it's not like skronk for a half an hour, Yeah. But it would be stuff like, you can only play when the person next to you is playing, or or you make up these improvisational games, like you get into pairs and trade off or whatever, depending on how many people are there and stuff like that.
I had an idea, like you could have like a poet, or I could do some poetry, and I could have an 8-piece noise band behind me.
You got to do it. You do it.
Yeah, I'd like that idea.
That sounds cool.
I love that. Don't talk about it. Just do it. Right. Are you recruiting Matt for this? Is this an offer right now?
Throwing it out, yeah.
Yeah, I say we should make it happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I love it. This is what I like, is to encourage improvisational collaboration between the guests,
Cool.
sometimes. People who have never met and just get them together, I think that's great.
That's one of the cool parts about it. I mean, when you're improvising, you can be, if it's people that that you've played with, it can be a really tight experience, which is great. But it's also great to play with people you've never even met before. Yeah. And they bring, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what they're going to play. And they just bring this whole other unexpected element to what you're doing. And it can be awesome.
So you'll definitely come back and play on the show again, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
this has been real fun. This is this is a pretty cool spot, too. You have a nice view of the city right here.
Isn't it great?
Yeah. I like it.
It's a nice location. There's the 101 right there, a block away.
It's actually not hard to get to.
No, it's not. It's relatively simple.
Yeah.
Especially on a holiday like Columbus Day with hardly any traffic.
It's downtown Beverly Boulevard. I mean, it's...
There you go.
Basically.
We usually get sirens blaring at us throughout the show.
And we did. That was all right.
That worked out, didn't it? This is a cool station, though. I really like it. I like having our show here.
Good.
They have a lot of different cool shows. Like the one before ours was great, and they were tripping out on your setup as they were leaving. Some of those guys.
Yeah. Some people don't know what to think. They don't know it. They're not familiar, especially the Cactus. I didn't actually come up with it. Like I said, Cage used amplified plant materials in some of his pieces, and I was I know this sounds stupid. I'm surprised people haven't seen an amplified Cactus before. But I guess I just don't think about it that way. It's just like, well, yeah, it's an amplified Cactus. Why are you so surprised? But people like at the synth meet, there were some folks there just like, they couldn't.
Like,
what are you going to do with it? They couldn't get it through their head what was going to happen.
Well, and these are guys who are like, they have just racks and racks of endless connected modular synthesizers, and it's just, which is, most people would go, what the hell is that? It looks like something from a science fiction movie or whatever.
I know.
I mean, that room was insane, packed full of people with all this gear.
It was like...
Wasn't that great?
It was cool to know that core of people like exists in LA. It's cool to, you meet one more experimental person, then you meet some more experimental people, and pretty soon it's like there's a nice experimental core in LA that I didn't know was there a couple years ago.
Right.
Like, when I started doing Soundwalk 3 years ago, was probably when I started to really tune into what was going on around here. Which is cool. I've only lived here 10 years, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's about right. It takes about 5 years, I think, to get acclimated, to get into a new place.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the scene is pretty cool out here. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the more harsh kind of noise realm, and then there's a lot in the experimental, that whole thing. And then all, like, you saw the guys with the MPC devices, and there's that whole thing, which is really just vast.
Yeah, it's great. It's good to see that much music going on.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of the sort of lo-fi 80s kind of synth kids like discovering that stuff for the first time now, and there's a lot of that going on, and there's a lot in Steve's world, which is
poetry, spoken word
poetry. Yeah,
I enjoyed that earlier. That was nice.
Oh, thank you.
Out in the hallway.
But there's always room for collaboration with that. We've had I think one of our best shows when Cindy was on, we had a collaboration. I think
Cindy Weinstein. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So we had, I believe you met him. He played with me that day at the synth meet, which was the guy Randy. He had the dreads.
Oh yeah.
And he had the what's the synthesizers.com rack. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah, and he did an improvisation with Steve's friend who did spoken word stuff. And he did his synth weirdness, and it was really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was great.
Yeah, that was a good setup. That was probably one of my favorite parts was when you guys started up. That was real nice. It was mind-blowing not only to see that much gear in one place, but to hear the different styles of music that people played. Yeah. I mean, there was like the 8-bit guy.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was great.
Nintendo, Game Boy stuff. And I love that guy. It was great. And he did a dead-on cover of Gary Newman.
I know.
Wasn't that incredible? How was he doing that, too, with the little pen thing?
Yeah, he's got the little Game Boy sequencer, basically, synth sequencer that he wrote. Stuff like that, you just like...
Mind-bending.
It's just mind-bending. You just don't know that people are doing that kind of stuff.
And then the guy, Angelo, with he had the synth stuff and the vocoder and all that, and then he just busted out with the Brazilian rhythms and the guitar and everything. It was amazing.
Yeah. That was a surprising group too.
Yeah, that was surprising. The equipment that he had, and just what he was doing was amazing. I mean, he had a big system. It was big.
Oh yeah. He had basically what we were describing. Randy had, but times 3.
Yeah.
But it was definitely good for the shock value of the big synth in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you always hear. One of the things that got me into modular stuff, I was only able to really start into this this past year, the modular analog stuff specifically. I mean, I've been making my own electronics. I didn't bring any of my homemade electronics tonight, but I have a whole class of, cigar box synths that I built, stuff like that. And I forgot where I was going with that, but one of the big events that I'll always remember is going into with Comma. We were performing at Drew University in New Jersey. And Norman Lowry, who is a really cool guy who makes musical masks. He makes all different kinds of masks, and he builds instruments into the personality of the mask. Really, really cool. So he invited us to come play, and at the time, Wendy Carlos's Moog was there. It was supposedly the one that she used to record the original Switched on Bach.
Oh my god!
That's what I was told anyway. But it was the size of this room. It was like this was the Moog room, and it took up 3 walls of this room. And that's the kind of thing when you see, you're like, when you think modular synth, like that's what you think. Walls of jacks and knobs.
Yeah.
That was a cool experience, though, seeing that big synth. Mine seems so meager next to it.
Well, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see that and not have that gear at home. I mean, you saw what my guitar synth thing, and I get so jealous because someday that's what I want to build up to. I was going to ask you in a minute what your future plans are. My future plans are to be able to get some modular stuff that I can control from the guitar MIDI setup. And what are your plans?
I I'd like to get some more performerly pieces to add on. And one of the reasons that I got into this was so that I could build my own stuff. Yeah. So I actually have a couple of ideas kicking around for performerly modules, because there's kind of I feel like there's kind of two classes of people who do this modular synth stuff. There's the people who, you know, they patch up a big patch, and it's a big patch that runs on its own with minimal input from the composer. And then the other extreme is it's all, you know, performed. There's no sequencer, there's no kind of mapped out thing. It's just, you know, it's just like an instrument, like I was saying before. So I'm kind of, I want to try to explore the instrument side of modular synthesis a lot more. But yeah, you can, the guitar, this little module right here that the Cactus is going through, the guitar, I've heard people do some great stuff with basses and guitars to this. Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
You don't even need MIDI.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that would be really great. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a huge MIDI person. I didn't do a lot of MIDI when I was. I mean, I studied it in school because that's what we had to do, and that's what electronic music was in the 80s or the 80s and 90s. It was all MIDI. So we did a lot with MIDI, and I kind of got tired of MIDI.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing I love about the mid '80s, you know, MIDI guitar stuff is that it doesn't track very well,
right?
And I've used that to my advantage. I really like the glitchy.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing,
that's
you know?
cool. That's good.
And that's what I love about that stuff. But I mean, you got to find your unique sound and just, you know, because you obviously have your own sound. I don't know how you would describe your.
Yeah, I don't know, and I've had people tell me that they can tell something that I've done, but you know, the only way that I describe it is that I put myself into the performance. You know, my personality is inserted into and part of the whole improvisation. So that's the only way I know to be genuine, is just by doing that. And so whatever comes out, and it's, you know, a reflection of me, I guess.
When's your next gig?
Oh, I don't know. I'm up for suggestions.
well, if not anywhere out there, maybe here again.
Yeah,
it will be here again. I'll have to get back with you, but yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find some open dates, but it won't be before probably December or something, right?
Maybe after that one. Let me check.
Yeah,
but
we'll get back. But I mean,
cool.
But we definitely would love to have you again.
Yeah.
But so you don't have anything lined up out there?
Not right now. No, not right now. I just kind of keep my eye open for, you know, this music isn't something that you can really go out and, you know, book a tour. But I mean, I guess you can. But you know, like I said, I like to search for those opportunities to do cool stuff.
Well, we should have you talk to Sandra Roscoe Wolf. You know, he's doing a thing now down there in Long Beach.
Yeah.
With the guy VJ Franz K, who was one of the VJs that night.
Yeah, that's right.
He's been doing the
Are they doing
visuals.
Is it a monthly?
I think it's a monthly now.
Okay.
He's got a new place that he's booking.
Okay, yeah,
So
I'm going to talk to him. Yeah, because I'd like to get down there. There's a lot of good spaces down in Long Beach for this kind of stuff that I've noticed.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'll have to do that.
There's a lot of good stuff going on. There's so much great music. Do we have Fog Machine coming in here, Steve? Have you ever seen those guys? I don't know if you know
familiar.
Fog Machine, but
I feel like
it's another guy I know who does a totally unique thing with big like a shop vac with like a
nice.
The hole being covered by like a drum, like a frame drum kind of thing, and,
cool.
and just producing some real good low rumble. And he's a trumpeter, so he does that. And then I just like to. I don't know what made me think of him, but he's played a lot of those events down in Long Beach.
Right on.
Like the Sound Walk and the other one that they did. I forget what it was called. That was 6 months ago, but
wow.
and then a thing with dry ice and like a metal thing, you know, it's a lot, and a blowtorch, changing the temperature of it, kind of making some crazy sounds out of it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's some really great talent out here.
That's cool.
Just various forms of weird noise making. Yeah.
It's the best kind.
I feel like we've only cracked like the surface, you know, of what's out here.
Yeah, and it's that's part of the fun too, is making the discoveries of what's going on.
Right.
Because it is like just little things here and there that just like, oh, that's great, that's cool, I love LA.
Well, here's another one of your pieces playing. Let's see what this is. This one's called. Let me try to find out. Looks like it just auto plays these, right?
Yeah, it's probably going.
This is a free improv. Oh, noisy by nature. It says on here.
That's the noisy by nature.
This is the set that you did.
That's the set. Yeah.
Oh shit. So well, should we let some of this play for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah. Let me just. We'll turn off the mics for a second. We'll just let this play because we've been talking about this festival. Let's let this play out for a minute.